You guys seem to be loving these videos about strong old school ladies. So today I would like to share with you Luisita Leers. She had one of the very best female physiques of her era. But interestingly, she wasn't a bodybuilder or even a weightlifter. Luisita was a circus performer, and her incredible physique came from her training as an acrobat. So let us take a look at this impressive woman. Her real name was Mata Louise Krökel, though we will be calling her Luisita in this video. She was born in the city of Wiesbaden in Germany in 1909. Her mother was also a very strong woman and a famous acrobat. However, Luisita never got to know her biological father, who left the family when she was just 2 years old. Luisita's mother ended up remarrying another man named Guido Krökel. Guido was himself an acrobat and a member of the Leers Arvello troupe. He started training Luisita from a very young age and quickly transformed her into a remarkably strong athlete. Luisita made her professional debut in 1920 at just 11 years old. It was clear that even from a young age, she could hold her own with the rest of the Leers Arvello group. We actually have photos of some advertisements from the early 1920s. Here we see Luisita as a young child. The advert says she is known as Die Luftkönigin, which means Air Queen in German. The young Luisita continued improving her skills and would achieve some insane feats of strength over the coming years. She was able to hold her hanging stepfather with just one arm, and she could also perform one-arm planches. This is a crazy move where she hangs with just one arm and does nearly vertical rotations of her entire body. Sadly, we don't have any videos of Luisita performing, but there is footage of another contemporary German acrobat called Lilian Leitzel performing these one-arm planches. I must say this move impresses me just as much as any feat of strength with a barbell. I can't even imagine the stress it must be putting on the shoulder. Now, I've also read claims of Luisita performing the Iron Cross on rings. In case you didn't know, the Iron Cross is a very difficult gymnastic move, where someone suspends themselves upright with their arms extended to the side. Here's where I have to add a little dose of skepticism, since unlike the previously mentioned feats, I couldn't find any historic or modern examples of a woman successfully performing an Iron Cross. Now, I'm by no means an expert in gymnastics, so if you know more than me, please leave a comment and let us know your thoughts. But did Luisita actually perform an Iron Cross? Well, I don't know. We have no proof, so I will let you make up your own mind. But I'll say that if she actually was able to do it, then it would have certainly made her one of the strongest female acrobats of all time. In any case, teenage Luisita was so remarkable that she began developing her own trapeze act. And by the age of 17, she left the troupe and started her own solo career. Her act included a neck hang on the trapeze bar, one-arm planches, and a series of backward rotations on the trapeze bar. Apparently, she regularly did over 100 backwards rotations in a row. Her act was an enormous success and quickly attracted the attention of the most prestigious circuses in the world. By 1928, at age 19, she had a 4-year contract with the Ringling Bros, which was the biggest circus in the United States at the time. They would take Luisita on tour all over the country. I found this short excerpt on Luisita in the 1929 National Vaudeville Artists Fund yearbook. Interestingly, out of the dozens of Ringling Bros acts featured in this yearbook, Luisita is both the first and the only one with a photo. Here it says, Miss Luisita Leers, second season, big success, the 19-year-old muscle phenomenon and most daring girl in the world on the high trapeze and perpendicular rope. introducing her act with a wonderful display of her muscles. So it looks like her act kicked off with a muscle posing routine, which is very cool indeed and not entirely surprising considering her stunning physique development. I really think Luisita would give modern natural female bodybuilders a run for their money, at least as far as upper body is concerned. Her arms are particularly impressive, but also those shoulders and the upper back. Just check out those powerful looking traps. While female acrobats of the time typically performed in flashy costumes which hid their muscularity, Luisita instead opted to perform in a plain, skin-tight leotard, which proudly displayed her muscular build. In 1935, she performed at Paris's legendary Cirque Medrano. You'll have to excuse my French on that one. I'll read you an account from a journalist who wrote about her in Variety magazine in March of that year. Quote, Luisita Leers stops the show at the Medrano this fortnight. Girl trapezist in best aerial single act seen in Paris this year. Is in the secondary spot right after intermission, but she walks away with the works, eclipsing everyone else on the bill. Girl is not only a remarkable performer from a purely acrobatic viewpoint, but has one of those smiles that knocks him over and a body which remains beautiful in spite of its extraordinary muscles. She works high without a net. Muscular control is so perfect that her stuff looks easy. But when she hangs by the back of her neck, apparently just as easily as she did her simpler introductory turns, audience realizes there was something to it all along. I mean, just imagine the kind of courage and skill one must have to hang on a trapeze by the back of their neck like this. With no safety net either, it must have been quite the spectacle. Luisita continued working all over Europe and America until the late 1930s. Sadly, the Second World War would put an end to her career. She happened to be in Germany when the war broke out, and she found herself trapped in the country. She couldn't work or even train, and on top of all that, her house got bombed and she lost all her belongings, including her props and costumes. By the time the war ended, Luisita was 36 years old, heavily malnourished, out of shape, and without equipment or money to resume her career. She eventually settled in the north of Germany where she worked as a translator. She got married and even ended up opening her own translating agency. Luisita died in 1997 at age 88. And that concludes our story. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really love exploring the lives of these often forgotten old school icons. If you'd like to support my research, I just made a Patreon page which I will link in the description. But of course, even just leaving a like and subscribing to the channel is a massive help and is much appreciated. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.